All right, everybody, thank you so much for hopping in. As I mentioned on the little like pre-thing, please jump, like unmute. I do not have like a specific agenda to this other than we're going to build an account completely from scratch. So today's goal is really to launch our first AI agent. We're going to start from a blank Go High Level account. Everything is going to be natively built in Go High Level. That said, I'm going to build this on my white label RDT account, which the user interface is going to look a little bit different from what you're used to if you're not used to RDT. But this is a standard like Agency Pro account that everything will be built in here. So by Friday, we'll have that army, agents, workflows, fields, calendars built out, right? And so as I mentioned, we're building this. Condo doesn't want to. Gotcha. No worries on the solar. So the voice agents, right? We have to play by the limitations that we have, right? And the big ones are inbound only. And so we'll talk about ways that you can trigger inbound calls. No context at this time. This is a big one because this does not allow us to feed context or information about the contact into the prompt at this time. This is coming soon. Go High Level also has training every day at 5. I'm actually going to hop on later because I have a few questions based on what I've learned so far. They can update contact fields, but they can't book appointments. And one of the reasons why they can't book appointments is because we can't feed in appointment time data and stuff like this. So all of this is going to come. I think that, now's the time, especially with this. And then the other limitation I see is that it's tied to the Go High Level number. Does anybody else have any other like limitations on the Go High Level stuff? Okay. As I mentioned, I think if we define a specific agent for a real specific role, this is going to be a key to getting this to work well. And so some possibilities on the first agent might be like a general agent, meaning they're set up to handle, assuming a human does not answer, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever you program in, the voice AI agent would then pick up that call and be able to handle all kinds of inquiries on the business. Lead qualification, this is for your opted in leads. They've opted in. You're probably doing text and email follow-up with them. And then we'll get right into which contact. So does anybody have an opinion or an agent that they would like to see built out? Because I want to focus on just let's build one. We'll talk about prompts and everything, and then we'll get into the Go High Level account. And we'll start setting this up. And so these were the two that I saw here. You could also have like customer qualification could be another one. Anybody have a request on the first agent that we will build out? Customer support.
Qualification.
What's that?
Lead qualification, please.
Adam, I've got a question.
Go for it.
So this AI, I can use it as a team, right? Like generate ads, and then
Well, this is what we're going to focus on. Like, there's a whole bunch of other AI possibilities for generating ads and doing a whole bunch of stuff like this. We're going to focus on the voice and specifically the inbound voice agent. So somebody calls you, and rather than you picking up the phone, rather than going to your voicemail, and this is why I think everybody should deploy this, because rather than going to voicemail, have this AI agent pick up, right? And handle the call.
If you ran an ad and the number in there is the number for the agent, then that would work pretty well, wouldn't it? So they click and
that would work well. Other things like, so because it's inbound only, we need to trigger that phone call to happen by dropping a voicemail on their phone, doing things like this. And so we can start out. I think definitely I want to build the general agent and the lead qualification. Is everybody okay if we start out like building a general agent for the?
For it.
Okay, so the next thing we need to define, if once we have the kind of role or the agent that we want to build out, is the information that we need them to collect, right? And so if someone's going to generally call into the business, and I'm going to keep this focused on solar, but if we're going to start out with a general agent, we're going to build, so we need to collect name, email. The phone number is already going to be collected because they called in on this. What other fields should we collect for a general agent, right? Someone just called into the business.
Would you
So
still
I'd
want
say
to collect an address because this is for solar?
we can add address into here. And we might have some subsets, but I think one of the big things that we want to do on the beginning of this is their inquiry type, right? Or why did they call, right? Right. And then I think if this is a customer, right? So at least in solar, there's kind of three possibilities that could happen, I think. You have if they are a lead, and then we've got if they are a customer, and then if they are a partner or team member. Does anybody else see any other paths that we would need to go down? So if they are a lead, then I want to collect their, well, I guess even customer we could add in. What do you guys think? If they're a lead, we're going to collect address.
Yes, you have to, right?
Let's start putting them down here. So let's say address, utility bill. Let's say utility bill amount. I mean, I'm just going to go down the solar qualification things that I would need, and then we'll start to build these fields because we're going to want these anyways, right? So then we're going to say maybe shade amount, sun amount. Who's in solar and wants to throw out some qualifications? I could.
Roof facing.
Roof type.
Roof type.
How about people who wants to join solar business?
On a solar discovery call, Fernando, what do you want to collect from the lead?
Well, of
Direction the
course,
roof is facing.
the essential information like phone number,
Yeah, so we got phone number, we got
right?
email, we got their address, utility bill amount, roof type.
Do you care about the
Um,
exposure? Like, are they facing east, west?
We do, but usually when we have the address, we have a lot of
Age of
that.
roof.
What's that, Dwayne?
Age of roof.
Age of roof.
Does it matter if they're the homeowner or renter?
Homeowner for sure.
That's a big one.
Solar panels already.
Do they have solar panels already? What other information might we want to collect here? Solar panels, roof type, age of roof, homeowner. Do they have solar panels already? How soon are they looking? You know, a project timeline, basically, we could call it.
You ask them for their budget, or do you tell them what their budget needs to be?
Usually we're not talking budgets too much this early on, right? Just because there's pretty good financing available in solar. So anybody else have any other things they want to throw into if they're a lead, project timeline?
Now you want to keep it as short as possible.
Yeah.
So that till that salesperson gets on the line with them.
Yeah. And so we could simulate a booking and add this into the agent, right? And so we could, you know, we could say, we could have them choose a time. And so I think the workaround right now, there's two workarounds for calendars. One is, would they like to book a time to talk with, and then we send them via text or email a booking link. The other one that I kind of like better as a workaround right now is we ask them their preferred day and time, starting with availability tomorrow. We provide general availability in the prompt and then let them book. And then that either gets confirmed or then we have to go back and change the time after the fact. What do you guys think is better?
That's the best way.
Let's just call it booking time. Okay. If they're a customer, then we want to handle like customer support information. So let's go ahead and we might not build all of these fields in here because I really want to get into the prompt. And so, but if they're a customer, then we want to basically mention that you're going to note down information for their project coordinator. I don't think we really want the AI handling too many project related questions on timelines and things like this. All right, so maybe this is what do we call this? How they need help or
Emergency service outage.
what did you say? Dwayne, you had a good word for it. I didn't hear.
Emergency service or outages. Or system offline, anything like that.
Yeah, let's say project.
New project, current project.
Action needed, or something like this. All right, and then if they're a partner or a timeline, again, this one is like, maybe we generalize this and say what they need help with. Okay, so I think we got a pretty good start here of things like this. I'm gonna go ahead and just save this guy. Okay, so these are the things that we want to get the agent to do, right? We want to get them to verify the name, the email, the inquiry type. And so I'm going to jump right into another document that I put in here, which is, so this is a prompt template that I have put together here. And so, and we can even redefine the role, but going through Go High Level's season of AI and kind of listening to what they had. And actually, I'm missing something up here in the, I must have deleted this. This one should have a quote here and another quote here. So this is how I recommend breaking down the prompts for the agent. We're going to get right into building. And so, and actually, I have another document that I started. So these are my general like guidelines for prompt engineering, right? And this applies to anytime you're interacting with ChatGPT, OpenAI, chatbots, is rather than giving exact scripts, use find out or learn and let the AI, give the AI some freedom on the best way to ask the information. Unless it's vitally important that it asks in a specific way, I've found that it's really good to kind of follow this find out or give the AI basically give it freedom to ask in the way that they think is and so this allows us to add rules into the prompt of like, adjust the following, to basically allow the agent to change the way that it's talking based on the prospect. Second, like guideline that I think is keep the prompt positive. So rather than do not say this, you want to tell it how to say. So you want to try to write positive prompts into the AI. The next one is keep it as concise as possible without losing context. And so I do not want to write a huge prompt that tells them I could just find out their name rather than I spend like a whole paragraph of the prompt. The more concise that we can be, the AI is already extremely smart and it's getting better and better. Right. And then the last is add more important prompt information up at the top. Right. And so start out with the information that's most important up at the top. At the very bottom, we put our supplementary information and things like this. And then I have a couple like prompts that I just use frequently that will in ChatGPT. So if I have something and I want to make it more precise, I'll provide all this in the documents everybody will get. But there's a couple like prompt templates, and I'll probably add on to this.
Today's video is brought to you by the RDT AI community, your all-in-one launchpad for collaborating on GHL solar automation and more. Join the RDT AI community now to get full access to Day 3's exclusive training, the Snapshot, and all of the agent scripts, plus bonuses. Collaborate and get insider strategies to scale your solar business faster than ever. Visit rdtai.com/community and step into the future of solar with an army of AI solar employees.
As we go. So we're going to follow these prompt guidelines. Right. And then we're going to go back to this other document here. And so what we want to do up at the very top, this is the most important thing, is we want to define the role of the agent, right? Because we want to put the important information is really the role. The second one is the offer. So this is details about the offer. If this is an agent for a specific ad, you want to have that information right in there. If this is, we're going to build this general, and you can make whatever I would call sections of the prompt that you want. You just want to follow this format where it's within the quotes. You have the little pound sign, the name of it with a colon, and then the actual information that goes in that section gets bracketed almost like you're programming this. Right. And so these are the sections that I have offer. The next one will be rules for conversation. These are your rules and guardrails for the prompt. Right. And so these are also extremely important. The next one is conversation flow. And this is literally going to be the step-by-step. Step 1, 2, 3, 4. This is where you're constructing the conversation flow of the agent itself. And then supplementary information. This would be company name, address. If we wanted to feed in operating hours, things like this. We just put it all within brackets down here. And then this last section, important internal use only. This is something that I got to give credit to the guy who posted some stuff on workarounds for appointments. So if we need specific, like they need to update like information. So like this is going to be in the actions for the agent itself, but we put this back down at the bottom. And so I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this whole prompt guideline here, and we're going to combine it with what we came up with over here. And maybe rather than do this whole thing, let's start out with conversational flow, right? And so I'm going to actually just take this conversational flow and we're going to build out this first conversational flow. We'll come back and fill the role and all this kind of stuff. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, I need to go back to Zoom because, oh, where did Zoom go? Hold on, sorry, one sec. Okay, I think we're good. All right. Whoops. All right, so we're going to throw this into ChatGPT and we're going to just say design, right? And again, I'm putting the most important stuff up at the top. Design a conversational flow that follows these guidelines. Right, let's go back to my This, if you're not aware, this is my ChatGPT account with, I have an LG mouse and you can define one of the buttons so that you can just push that button and ChatGPT pops up. This is one of my favorite little tools. All right, so we're going to go back to the guidelines. We're going to grab these prompt engineering guidelines. Lost on my windows here, but we'll be okay. All right. We're going to paste this in because these are the guidelines. These are the most important thing that I wanted to try to follow. We want you to design a conversational flow for a general agent who will be answering inbound calls, and we want it to collect this information. All right, so the information, this is my second most important thing that I'm going to throw into here. So I'm going to go back to this little guy. Nope, not this one. I'm thinking email just because of this. We want to move this down into something like this. Just because we want this later on. Maybe we put email. Let's leave it up at the top. All right, so this will allow. We can always adjust this how we want. Info to collect. Let's feed this in. Okay, and lastly, we're going to say follow this.
I'm sorry. Could you put this on the chat so we could follow along with your own chat GPT?
Sure. Throw it in. I want to see if it'll allow me to put this whole thing in here, but did that work? I think that worked. No.
Nine.
It's sent to the, oh, I got too many characters. Okay, we'll do the conversation flow later.
I think I got it. Thanks.
All right, let's see what we get out of this. I don't know. I just tried this new projects thing and now it's not firing off my first message. So, oh, maybe it is. Let's try this. I was taking a little bit longer because I was using 01. You can probably use the 4.0 would probably work fine for this as well. But we'll go ahead and use the 01, I guess. You're good. You're good, Emma. Figuring out details. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, we're probably going to need to adjust this, but let's go ahead and copy this into. Man, this thing is working super slow here. clean some later, close this down. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this into here. Again, I kind of like this support and try to follow the steps in order, but have a human-like conversation. So we're gonna probably need to adjust slightly what ChatGPT just came out with, but we don't need this. This is redundant. Had to start prioritizing on the caller's name and inquiry type, keep the conversation friendly and positive, focus on what to find out rather than what not to do. Let's try ChatGPT's version of this completely. Begin with a warm, positive greeting, find out the caller's name. This one looks good. Positively learn why they are calling, inquiry type, lead, customer, partner, or team member. We're going to want an opening line for this too. That's going to go in this. Find out the caller's email address. If a lead. So I think we may even want to break this down, but we can try this. So if a lead, learn the property address. I think we may want to even break this down into sub flows because we want 3 different flows to happen. So I'm going to say for this general one, rather than just saying conversation, this will give us more flexibility. We'll call this general conversation flow. Okay. And then we can put this guy down here. Right, so find out the caller's name, positive, learn why they are calling, inquiry type, lead, customer, or partner. Find out the caller's email address. We want this right up front. I think we may want to keep this later. We're going to take this out of here. And we're going to add a step 3. We're just going to say, if they are a new lead or not already a customer, follow lead qualification, continue with, we'll call this lead qualification flow. Okay. Then step 3, we're going to kind of generalize this and say step 3 is continue with correct conversation flow, right? And so if they are a new lead or not already a customer, continue with lead qualification flow. We're going to copy this. If they are a customer, and then we could even, with existing solar project or installation, continue with, and we'll call this customer flow. Okay. And then the last one that we had in here was if they are a partner or someone looking to work with our company, continue with and we'll call this partner. Okay, so if they're a lead, so now we ended up with a couple of additional sections. I didn't like how they kind of just put all this if stuff in here. So we're gonna go ahead and close this one. We have, hold on one second, sorry guys. Let me start this computer.
Hey, Adam,
Yes, sir.
is it essential to add what type of source is the caller? It's like,
What
is the caller like a referral, or did they get the information from online, or?
we could add that into the flow, right? So kind of what we're setting up here is the general conversation flow is really just to determine what type of lead they are. And now we're going to add in individual flows for each of these, right? So we ended up with lead qualification flow. All right, so we can put this down below. Right, and then this will have the little backslash in here. And then we need this up at the top. And we'll just say lead qualification flow. You really want to, like, the way that you get the prompt really, really good is like, I don't want to say lead qualification, then down here call it lead qualification flow. I want everything to be extremely simple so that the AI knows where to go, right? And then the last thing, we'll just put a little brackets down below under this. Okay, so now we've got lead qualification flow. Let's, there's Pat. Let's see if we can go back into here and feed this. We're going to feed this flow down here. And then homeowner. All right, so homeowner and address. So I'm just reordering this and how I think, let's add this up at the top here and say, do they have solar panels already? Utility bill, roof type. All right, so we're gonna end up with this flow here. Whoops. Let's adjust this for just the lead qualification steps. Oops, I better paste it twice. And then let's go ahead and grab this. We'll just save ourselves a little bit of time if we go. Let's see what we get here. I'm going to switch this to 4 so it goes a little bit faster on this. I think we already got the lead qualification flow spitting out here. And then we only need these parts. We'll do this. All right, let's go back to our prompt here. Oops, not this one. We need to adjust these, but 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's take a look at what we got here. So if they go down this, learn if they're the homeowner. Oops. We're not gonna have to add, learn if they're the homeowner and gather their property address. I'm gonna add a supplementary thing in here. I'm just gonna say important, repeat back the spelling of their street address and always select street, city, state, and zip code to confirm. Something like this. And we'll just put an important. All right, this is all under step 1. Discover if they have if they currently have solar panels installed. Maybe we add this and let's combine this and just say and their project timeline. How soon they are going to upgrade to solar. Ask about their average monthly utility bill, find out the type of roof and its age, learn about the ideal project timeline. So we took this one out.
How about type of property it is?
We can do that. We can always add to this, and I'm just gonna leave this step 6 because I really want to fire this agent off before. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker just to get this finished so that we can fire off this first agent and then everybody can have these. I will figure out a place to get these. I'll throw these up into a place where everyone can get access to maybe the Google Drive. Since we're just on here, I'll provide the Google Drive for this. So everybody has all the access into here. Step 6, find out the spelling of their email address to confirm the follow-up call with their solar expert, something like this. Determine suitable time for a follow-up, and rather than call this meeting with one of our solar pros. Find out the spelling of their email address, lead qualification flow. All right. Trent. And then, all right, so we got lead qualification, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're coming in here, we got general conversation flow, 1, 2, 3. If they're a customer with an existing project, continue with customer flow. So we don't have the customer flow. Let's maybe just put some quick ones into here so that we have these two, and then we don't have the partner flow. So let's also copy that guy. Oops. Just gonna step, what did we call this? So if we flip back to here. Find out their project action. Find out. I think we said it better like this, what they need help with. What they need help with. And so find out what they need help with and what actions can we do to help. And then we'll just do step 2. We'll just copy this one up here. And then we'll close this guy down. We're going to do the same thing for here. And the partner flow. Oh. All right, we'll copy this guy down. We'll put this into here. This one is the end of the customer flow. And this one's the end of here. I'm going to put these quotes down here. Maybe we keep this all separated. We'll keep our same template. We might have to try this and see which works better, but this up here. Double quotes, and we'll call this customer flow. Customer flow. And we'll go partner flow. Same thing. And I think the last thing is we just need some little quotes to end these. All right, so let's just take a look at our flow. We're gonna general conversation flow. Step 1, 2, 3. If they're a new lead, go to that way. If they're that, right? General conversation flow ends. Lead qualification flow ends here. Whoops. These little things. Then we got our customer flow, which ends here, and our partner flow. All right, so I think we're pretty good for this. Supplementary information. Let's just call this ABC Solar. Say company phone number. We can always put this later.
Today's video is brought to you by the RDT AI community, your all-in-one launchpad for collaborating on GHL solar automation and more. Join the RDT AI community now to get full access to Day 3's exclusive training, the Snapshot, and all of the agent scripts, plus bonuses. Collaborate and get insider strategies to scale your solar business faster than ever. Visit rdtai.com/community and step into the future of solar with an army of AI solar employees.
We'll leave this down here. We'll get more into this on the next days and get into updating the actions for this agent. Okay. And so up at the top here, we're still missing the details about the offer and the rules or guardrails for the conversation flow. I have some pretty good rules and stuff that I'll probably share. I just want to see how ChatGPT. Let's see if we can get ChatGPT to build out the rest of this, and then we'll continue to refine this, but what do we want to name this agent that we've got going here? I'm gonna skip this info. We'll just go right here. And we're just gonna let ChatGPT do this work for us. Great. Here is the entire prompt we have. We need help defining the best role for a voice or an agent named Ava, whose name I misspelled on the high level post, and then I couldn't I couldn't change it. So anyways, Ava was Eva. Okay, here's the entire prompt we have. We need help defining the role and the offer and rules for this agent to finish this prompt. I wouldn't normally do this, but I just want to see if we can get something that is right. And then we'll just give me the entire prompt for agent Ava. After the rules, offer, and role. We're going to completely open this up and see what we get, but we might be pleasantly surprised. And then we can always adjust this later. I just want to get to something where we can set this up. So they gave us the offer. I was going to go with this because we're just going to test this out and see how this goes. All right, so we got role. Except for, I'm only going to take this because they didn't put the quotes in here. Okay, so we're going to throw this in here so that we can get to a phone call here, and then we'll really get into building the actions and the work, refining this agent, and then, oh, come on, don't do this to me, Word. Word's crashing on me. Wonderful. Oh, there we go. All right. We'll throw this in as the offer. They came up with a lot of rules. Again, we'll go through and define these rules later. I just want to get to the point where we can call this agent and. All right. So we have, and I'm not going to say this as the blank one. We're going to say this. It's built into here and Ava general agent prompt. Okay. I'm going to try to keep these on time. I know we got tons of information, but we got some of a prompt here. It's probably going to end up working out pretty good, but let's go back and flow into here. As I mentioned, if you have not seen RDT, I've got a pretty highly customized go high level for solar, but you just want to find where it says Seasons of AI, sign up for that, and then click into the voice AI, and then go to your settings and go directly into the voice section. I don't have any agents here. We're going to click on create agent. We're going to call this agent's name as Ava. We'll call this ABC Solar. And then you can go through here and play around with the different voices and stuff. Again, we can do this later. I'm just going to leave this. We're going to call this inbound. And you have reached, we'll just leave this the same. I'm going to help you. You have reached Ava with. Let's say at. I'm gonna do today. All right, so in here, other things you can play around with are these advanced settings. And so you now can put this up to 15 minutes and can play around with the different speed settings and confirm this. Right, so this first page, pretty simple. You can always come back here, but you need to put this, it's good to put this in the prompt, but I'm gonna just let this rock with what we got in here. We're gonna skip over this, but you can just put, you know, this general information. We're gonna click this switch to advanced mode. And pay attention to what high level is put into here as well, right? They've put, you know, some prompts and stuff into here, but you know, what I would recommend is save everything on a, you know, a Google Doc or a Word document. And then whenever you make changes, if it's a Google Doc, it's great because it would have the history and stuff of this. Right, so we're just going to paste this into here. And I think we got our whole agent. We're going to get into the actions, all this kind of stuff later. I just really want to get to you guys all the prompt information so you can start playing around with these. And we'll get into like building out all the workflows and everything that we need. We're going to go ahead and, well, we do have a phone number on here, but yeah. Let's just use this. You can set working hours. So in here, if you set the working hours, this defines like how quickly. Now, this is the only thing that I've done on this account is I went and pre-got the A2P verified so that we can do text messages and everything on this line. And so let's go ahead and just save this. All right. And then I think I skipped a section in here that we can do test calls. All right, so you need to put the 1 in here, but every day you get 10 minutes of playing around with this. This is going to use the script and it's going to actually update context, but let's see how we did on this first agent here. Live test.
RDT call from.
Hello?
Hey, you have Ava at ABC Solar. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I was just calling. You guys have good deals on solar?
Absolutely. We offer free consultations and can help you explore solar options tailored to your needs. Are you a homeowner looking to install solar panels, or do you have something else in mind?
I'm a homeowner and I'm looking to install, yes.
Great. Could you share your property address with me? I'll need the street, city, state, and zip code to get started.
Yeah, it's 34231 Mimosa Terrace.
Thanks. Could you spell the street name for me and also let me know the city, state, and zip code?
34231 Mimosa, just like the drink, and it's in Fremont, California, 94555.
Got it. So that's 34231 Mimosa Terrace in Fremont, California, 94555. Do you currently have solar panels installed or are you starting fresh? And how soon are you looking to get started with the installation?
Man, as soon as possible. I'm tired of paying PG&E.
I hear you. Switching to solar can definitely help with those bills. What's your average monthly utility bill amount?
It's like $300.
All right, $300. That'll definitely make a difference with solar. What type of roof do you have and how old is it?
The roof is about 10 years old. I think it's in pretty good shape.
Great, a 10-year-old roof. Perfect. Let's find a good time for a follow-up call with one of our solar experts. What day and time work best for you?
Today works good.
All right, how about we schedule it for later today? Would 8:30 p.m. work for you?
That's a little bit late. Let's do it at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Got it. We'll schedule the call for tomorrow at 10 a.m. Just to confirm, could you spell your email address so we can send a confirmation?
Yeah, the email is adam@myrdt.com.
Thanks, Adam. So that's adam@myrdt.com. You're all set for tomorrow at 10 a.m. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you much. Not too bad for a first go. What'd you guys think?
So can you force it, ask for the phone number? I'm not sure if I heard her asking for the phone number. I know she asked for the email address and the
We
other.
can, right? So we didn't put the phone number at all in we didn't put the phone number at all in the prompt to ask for it or to confirm the phone number because the phone number is collected when they called in. But yeah,
Okay.
you could add that in as a like, what's the best phone number to reach you at?
Got it. What about like for do you know how it works? Like if you have complicated names, like does it just take what it thinks it heard, or does it actually spell it back to you?
So I've played around with this. Like I think we can really get it to spell out and like we kind of skip through those sections pretty quickly, but you can get it to spell out like word for word. And actually like the agent that I built, to kind of do the confirmations for here, she started out like if you called early on, she would like spell out the beginning of the email and then she'd like rush through the rest of it. So I kept, I've refined that prompt a little bit, but you can get it to, spell out like really if we kind of are very concise and clear, we can get the agent to follow any flow and ask any information we need.
Got it. Will you before I don't know how long this goes to, but will you share then that Google Doc so that we can play with this and put it in our own seeds of AI?
Yeah, totally. So I'm going to, let me just I'm going to grab this whole entire Google Doc and just open it up for sharing. And then I'm going to share that in the chat here. And then, yeah, the best way is just go and play around with this. Like ChatGPT can help tremendously. And, just think about the flow, what you want to collect, and see if you can get the prompt working good without all the actions, right? And then on Wednesday, we'll get into, okay, well, we're asking all this information. Let's actually update the fields and how do we get that to work correctly? So let me just give me 1 second. Let me get into here and find this folder.
Then while you're doing that, a question, I noticed the speed and I follow kind of what they did with the updates. Do you have any thoughts as to normal, brisk, or fast? I would go between normal and brisk, but one of the questions that I've had when I played with this last week was sometimes you kind of have some of that pause or that lag. Like I think you had a moment there during the call.
Pretty bad lags on this one.
Right. So like sometimes it feels like it's thinking, or sometimes maybe the caller, speaks. I don't want to say out of turn, but they kind of go back and forth and, who's talking, who's speaking. Have you found that it's better interaction on the normal speed, or is it better on the brick speed? I know it's pretty early, so I didn't know if there's any data on that.
So I don't have any data. So I did notice that so I had like Ava set to the brisk, and I did notice that it seemed like she interrupted people a little bit, right? And so I might slow it down a little bit. I think that some of those longer pauses and stuff, some of that can be, in the prompt a little bit, right? If it gets confused in the prompt or it's trying to calculate. So we may be able to go back. Most of all the calls that I've done, and again, I only started playing around with this voice platform. I've played around with some others that got way more features and stuff. This one, while it's native and while everybody's got it free, it's really good. And what it's really good at is like I'll post a call that I did. My neighbors were literally blasting like music the other day. Like I was in a concert in my own backyard, and I hopped on my phone and called the agent and it didn't have any issues. I did that call here on speakerphone, which is also, like that's been a huge challenge for other platforms I've noticed.
Right. Okay. I noticed the interruption sometimes where either the caller is waiting for it to be asked a question, or the AI jumps in and kind of cuts the caller off. So I didn't know if there was anything to mitigate that. I'm sure it'll get better as time goes on.
Well, I'm of the opinion that
one thing you could do is
go ahead, Dwayne.
One thing you could do is instruct the AI to only ask one question at a time. So this way it limits the input coming in and it answers faster back.
That's a good point.
That's a
Okay,
good suggestion.
thanks.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, I'm of the opinion that I do not want to try to fool people into like, hey, this is a human that you're talking to. I know that, I don't know. I think that it's better to kind of, you know, disclose that it's an AI, if you will, and use it in such a way. Because like, remember, we have to tee this up. Like we're building a general agent, but you know, tee it up as like an advanced voicemail system almost is a great use case for, you know, where we're at right now, especially with the, you know, some of these little, like that one had a couple big, like some of the longest pauses I've actually heard. And, you know, some of it may be like, I didn't even look at the rules that ChatGPT came up with, but I might have thrown too many in there. And then it's like, okay, which rules should I be checking? And so like the prompt makes a big difference on the speed. So anybody else have any other questions before we hop off here? And then I'll be back in on Monday and we'll start really like, you know, kind of refining this prompt. And then I'd love it if everybody like just go and play with, I put the link to the Google Drive in the chat. And yeah, I agree, Trent. It's like, you know, as long as it's disclosed, there's a lot more information they can get by, you know, please press 1 if you want to talk to customer service or, you know, the IVR systems. This is a leap ahead for them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say real quick. Will there be a replay of this also? Right around the middle, I lost service and it cut out.
No worries. I'm gonna, so everybody who jumped on here and yeah, so I'm gonna put all the replays up. I've got a membership site that's already set up. I might put a community too, because like, you know, I'm not trying to sell anything to this, although maybe in the future this will become a little like guideline or, you know, but I think this is something that like I was sleeping on this. I was like, I have played like over a year ago up on my website, it's had AI voice like solar call information from an air call, right? And I was heavily into another project, not even paying attention, you know, like, and I know High Level released this. I was sleeping on this until Friday. And then I'm like, man, this is actually pretty good. Like what they've come up with and the fact that it's all the LC, you know, it's all integrated. I know there's way more advanced programs out there and like, you can really take it. A lot of it's like, okay, let me listen to the call and then go and adjust the prompt. Let me put this in there, right? Let me, you know, like the little spellings and things like this. So, but yeah,
Who's
I'll
your
try to
favorite
get
platform right now?
replay and everything. Got my little Fathom note taker, which, and so I'll get a replay out to everybody. Thanks for hopping on.
All right. Thank you. This is definitely helpful to a lot of us.
Yeah.
Definitely appreciate
it. Awesome. Well, yeah, everybody, hopefully I'll see everybody again on Wednesday and like grab that Google Drive link and play around with it. That's the best way to like, you know, see what you can come up with. And like, I didn't test out so I'll play around with this one and see if I can improve this one for Wednesday and we'll go from there. So thanks again, everybody.
Hey, Adam, really quick before you go.
Yeah.
For a lot of my clients, their booking abilities is important when I'm being asked about, and I understand that I'm not available with GHL. Will you have you done anything as far as workarounds with other integrations that connecting this to will work for booking appointments?
So so we can get a workaround, like if you notice down at the bottom of that prompt, I have like a little, and so the workaround is we have to collect the information about the time that they want. And then we'll update a contact field with that. I think it's better to not try to have the voice AI get that field to update in the exact format that we need. And then once that's triggered, we can use the workflow AI to kind of put it in the right format to then book the appointment. And then the problem is we cannot feed context into the voice AI right now. So there's absolutely no way for us to feed the actual availability in. And so we could add the availability and then, you know, if something gets booked, you could go in and adjust the agent, but it's really manual to do that. And so you kind of got to let it book and then, deal with a reschedule if it needs to happen is how it can work on the high level platform right now.
Can we just have the AI send a link to the booking link to our calendar?
Yeah, we'll set that up actually, right? Because that's the way that you can get it consistent is like, I don't have the availability, but I'm going to send you because we're positioning this as an assistant, right? And based on this assistant, I think what we'll do with this agent is if they're a customer, great, let me get you to your specific customer rep's calendar. I'm going to send you a link via email and text after the call. And, please grab a time to chat with them. They're going to be I'm going to pass on all the notes. So they'll have all the notes from this call, right? So and handle it that way. That's the accurate way to do this.
And we'll cover that on Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll build in the actions and stuff like that.
Sounds
I
good.
think if you want to get ahead of that, what I recommend is not updating the actual custom values of what the agent's collecting. And so say I'm collecting address. Rather than updating address, I'm going to create a field called voice AI address. I'm going to update voice AI address because this allows me in the workflow to say, hey, if they already have an address, I don't want the voice AI one to replace it or things like this.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully this gets everybody the prompts and gets a good stable to go start. Step one, just get the flow and you're going to have to call it a few times. You probably run out of the 10 minutes, right? And you'll test it, try to break it, right? Go a couple times, letting it, just following along. I kind of followed along. I didn't try to ask off the wall stuff on this. And then, go back and adjust the prompt. It takes a little bit. So if you can get the conversation going good, then later we'll come in and add the actions and stuff like that. So anyways, I really appreciate all of you and game on. We'll talk again on Wednesday.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right, have a good rest of your day.
Today's video is brought to you by the RDT AI community. Your all-in-one launchpad for collaborating on GHL solar automation and more. Join the RDT AI community now to get full access to Day 3's exclusive training, the Snapshot, and all of the agent scripts, plus bonuses. Collaborate and get insider strategies to scale your solar business faster than ever. Visit rdtai.com/community and step into the future of solar with an army of AI solar employees.